My name is Yash Kothari. I teach a bunch of grade 7 students in Kurla East. I teach in a BMC school. I'm a year 1 fellow and I'm completing my first year of fellowship within a month, and I'm really excited to step into the second year. One of my most pressing concerns were post fellowship opportunities. Someone had built a notion in my mind that if you take up this opportunity, you're more or less going to be focusing your career into for the rest of into non-profit and that sector, and I didn't want that when I was applying. So that was one of my most pressing concerns, and also I wasn't quite sure of the leadership as teaching as leadership model. I wasn't very clear on that. So to overcome these doubts, I spoke to my recruiter, Ashvira. Ashbira was really friendly. She helped me clarify all the doubts in a very non-biased way, I would say. And I also made a lot of classroom visits. I spoke to a PM right now, Karan Sood. He told me about his post-fellowship opportunities, what he wanted to do. And step by step, as with research, with talking to people, I was more and more confident of the step that I was going to take. In this entire 1 year, what I've learned is that teaching as leadership model is really very strong. And also regarding my post-fellowship opportunities, I've already reached out to a lot of alums from some of my dream schools. I've spoken to some of the alums who are working in McKinsey, Bain and Company. I've spoken to them what their life is like, what they do, and I'm so excited to have made friends in sectors that I would have otherwise not made. I think what really helped me, and I would encourage my 17ers to do as well, was to reach out to people in Teach for India. I've realized that Teach for India is really a place where people give unbiased and open opinions. There's no bias in that. So I would suggest to reach out to the 16ers, reach out to the 15ers, reach out to the staff, and get as many doubts and questions that you have in your mind clarified before taking the big step, because it's a commitment after all. The most common thing when you join Teach for India, I think, and if you are an engineer, is why. You've been an engineer, they expect you to take up an engineering job. So this was one inevitable question that I faced from my engineering friends, like, why did you take up engineering in the first place then? My answer is that for me, engineering, the jobs were the growth was very stagnant, and there's not much scope. And on the other hand, I was being exposed, I was put in the middle of India's most pressing problem, and I had a lot of authority, freedom to do what I wanted to do. So definitely I wanted to do something that's more challenging and more beneficial for me from my career point of view. I always tell them stories about how I've developed on my leadership qualities, and I ask them to tell me the same, and more or less they always have nothing to say because for them it's a 9-to-5 desk job, nothing challenging. So in that way, I think I have an edge over them. My plans after fellowship right now is to start up. I said this even in my interview, that I see teaching as an entrepreneurial journey. Even when I would become an entrepreneur, I would have a vision for my business, and I would to take my business from here to there. And in the same way, for Teach for India, I have to take my class from A point to B point. In the same way, so I'm hoping to apply some of the skills that I've learned, like vision setting, goal setting, tracking goals, into my venture then whenever I set up.